Coming up, an incredible breakthrough. Kazakhstan's agricultural engineering sector is growing by 300%. The industry's achievements were discussed at a specialized forum in the Kazakh capital. The Caspian Sea is under protection. The Senate ratified the protocol on protection of its marine environment. A reputable platform for dialogue among world religions. Representatives from 70 countries will gather in Nur-Sultan next year for the Congress of Leaders of World and Traditional Religions. An exhibition featuring works of domestic and international artists opened in the Kazakh National Museum. Stay tuned for more details. President of Kazakhstan Kassym-Jomart Tokayev addressed the general debates of the 76th session of the United Nations General Assembly. They were dedicated to the themes of sustainable recovery, meeting the needs of the planet and respecting human rights. In his speech, the head of state focused on the triple threat facing the world: recovery after COVID-19, the climate crisis, and the humanitarian situation in Afghanistan. President Tokayev proposed to immediately expand the global access to vaccines, as well as confirmed readiness to share the Kazakh-made vaccine on a bilateral basis or as part of the COVAX system.
Independent, sovereign nation living at peace with itself and its neighbors. The COVID-19 pandemic has exploded from 32 million to 225 million confirmed cases. We are deeply grateful to all health workers, scientists, and vaccine makers who produced in a remarkably short time safe and effective vaccines. But the economic and social repercussions remain very difficult. Unemployment has risen sharply, and hundreds of millions of people are losing their livelihoods. More than 130 million people are now living in extreme poverty.
In his address, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev also spoke about the situation in Afghanistan. He supported the call of the UN Security Council for the formation of a new government through negotiations, which would be inclusive and representative. He also announced the readiness of Kazakhstan to provide a logistic platform for the delivery of humanitarian aid to Afghanistan.
Kazakhstan envisions Afghanistan as a truly independent, sovereign nation living at peace with itself and its neighbors. Afghanistan must continue to adhere to its international obligations and ensure its territory is free of terrorists, drugs, and human traffickers. Whatever our political affiliations or personal feelings, we must not abandon the people of Afghanistan now. The acute humanitarian situation should be our first priority. UN agencies and other humanitarian actors must have immediate, safe, and unhindered humanitarian access.
Mechanical engineering today is one of the leading industries in Kazakhstan in terms of economic indicators, in particular in the production of agricultural machinery, which increased by 300%. This was discussed by participants of the International Specialized Exhibition on Machinery that takes place in the capital as part of the 9th Forum of Kazakhstan Manufacturers. It's always great when there are many spheres on one platform. There are manufacturers and investors, as well as the highest authority here, to solve those issues that we cannot solve. Indeed, they help us in this. Nearly 200 leading foreign and Kazakh enterprises presented their equipment at the Kazakhstan Machinery Fair 2021. It is possible to find everything here, from bolts to oversized equipment for agriculture. Important transactions are being made and negotiations are also underway on the sidelines of the forum.
Біз осындай форумға қатысу арқылы басқа елдермен қарым-қатынас жасауға осы бізді
We produce everything ourselves, and such platforms are a very big help in establishing contacts, especially in the oil sector. We have the opportunity to expand our exports, since the European countries are also represented here.
Өзбекстанның нелермен тәтістермен танысып, олар уже көздерін жеткізіп жұмыс жасап жатыр.
Since the beginning of the year, Kazakhstan has sold mechanical engineering products worth almost $742 million. By 2025, the volume of exports should reach nearly $3 billion, experts said. In general, over the past 10 years, the number of mechanical engineering ventures in Kazakhstan has grown up to 3,000. $2,693 people were infected with coronavirus in Kazakhstan in the last day. The highest daily increase in the number of cases was registered in the city of Almaty. 549 people tested positive for the disease there. Plus, 431 cases were reported in Karaganda region. 256 people caught the dangerous virus in Almaty region. Since the beginning of the pandemic, the total number of coronavirus cases in the country has exceeded 870,000. Meanwhile, according to Kazakh Health Ministry, to date, over 66,000 people in Kazakhstan continue to receive treatment for COVID-19, including more than 11,000 patients in hospitals. The coronavirus vaccination drive in the country continues. Over 6,282,238 people have received both components of the vaccine to date. "100% vaccination. Populations of the Zharkhayan and Qorghalzhan districts of the Akmola region have been fully vaccinated against the coronavirus. The data were provided by the Regional Sanitary and Epidemiological Control Department. Meanwhile, more than half of the population was immunized in Kokshetau city. A total of about 280,000 Akmola region residents have been vaccinated with 2 doses.
У нас темпы вакцинации снизились, да, мы это признаем. Мы практически...
Our vaccination rate has slowed down, and we admit it. Compared to other districts of the region, the city of Kokshetau is in the bottom 5. We're doing all the work we can together with the local executive bodies. In addition, we've brought in a mobile medical unit, which was deployed in the Sararuka microdistrict. We also plan to move it to other microdistricts for the convenience of residents.
Его планируем также переносить в другие микрорайоны для удобства жителей.
63% of residents of Temirtau city in the Karaganda region have been vaccinated against COVID-19. 4 special vehicles operate daily on the densely populated microdistricts of the city. Each of them receives 20 people per day.
Енді менің 3 балам бар. Жолдасым жұмыста, біз енді далаға шығамыз, магазиндерге барамыз, адамдар.
I have 3 children. The spouse works a lot. We often go for a walk, and of course we talk to people. I got a coronavirus vaccine to protect myself and my family, especially my kids, from the disease. I think it's best to get vaccinated, and of course taking precautions is a must.
Сосын өзін кінәлі сезінбес үшін ертең мен жұқтырып алып, сол үшін де айтам, сақтық шараларын әрқашан сақтау керек.
У нас остался тот контингент, где
There's a category of people who stay at home that are left unvaccinated. These are elderly people and people with disabilities. Not only do we vaccinate here, we also go straight up to the apartment. First, a doctor examines people who can't walk, after which we can vaccinate them.
После этого мы будем их вакцинировать.
Thus, to date, 62,000 residents have been vaccinated. By the end of the year, it is planned to vaccinate the entire population of the Karaganda region. To prevent pollution of the Caspian Sea, rationally use local natural resources, and conserve biodiversity, members of the Senate of the Kazakh Parliament approved a document aimed at protecting this body of water, given that the presence of large hydrocarbon reserves in the sea makes the environmental problem urgent. Serikali Brekishev, Kazakh Minister of Ecology, Geology and Natural Resources, said that the contractual basis for cooperation in this area will be expanded and a number of protocols have already been signed. He also said that the document defines the types of activities to be regulated by the protocol. These include oil refineries, thermal power plants, and other incinerators with a capacity of 300 megawatts or more, nuclear power plants, as well as construction, reconstruction, or expansion of highways, and so on. To that end, the new environmental code, which entered into force in July of this year, contains paragraphs on the regulation of the transboundary environmental impact.
Еліміз үшін Каспий теңізінің әлеуметтік және экономикалық маңызы зор. Сондықтан оның экологиялық
The Caspian Sea is of strategic importance for our country. Therefore, the careful attitude towards it is always in the spotlight. We hope that the adopted law will work to prevent pollution of the sea and coast, preserve biological diversity, and rational use of natural resources.
Сақтауға және табиғи ресурстарын ұтымды пайдалануға мүмкіндік береді деп сенеміз.
Kazakhstan's capital will host the 7th Congress of Leaders of World and Traditional Religions in 2022. Representatives of 70 countries are expected to take part in it, reported Bulat Sashimbayev, the head of the Nursultan Nazarbayev Center for the Development of Interfaith and Intercivilization Dialogue. He noted that the exact date of the event is still unknown, but it will be determined in early October during the Secretariat of the Congress. It will be attended by spokespersons of different confessions from 20 countries.
5-6 октября состоится заседание рабочей группы и заседание 19-го секретариата съезда лидеров.
On October 5 and 6, a meeting of the Working Group and a meeting of the 19th Secretariat of the Congress of Leaders of World and Traditional Religions will take place in Nur-Sultan. We will hold them in a mixed format between offline and online because majority, namely 18 members of the Secretariat abroad, agreed to come to Nur-Sultan. 7 members of the Secretariat will take part online. The meeting will be chaired by Maulana Shimbayev, chairperson of the Senate, the upper house of the Kazakh parliament.
В онлайн-режиме. Секретариат заседания пройдет под руководством председателя Сената Республики, парламента Республики Казахстан Маулана Шимбаева.
Not only the date, but also the program, agenda, and regulations of the religious summit will be outlined during the upcoming meeting in Nur-Sultan. It is expected to touch on global issues and current challenges related to the pandemic. The Congress has been held in the capital of the country since 2003 in the role of a mediator and calling for cooperation between leaders of confessions. The number of participants is increasing every year along with the growth with its authority. A mosque of the 18th century was found in the West Kazakhstan region. At the site, archaeologists discovered not only burnt red bricks, but also pieces of ceramics. According to scientists, the building was 10 meters wide and nearly 27 meters long. Its walls were 80 centimeters thick, but most of the structure is underground. Excavations of the mosque were conducted by local historian Murat Kalmenov together with his students. According to the scientists, it was not by chance that they discovered the mosque. The structure is mentioned in literary writings and historical documents. It is believed that the building was deliberately destroyed 100 years ago. The building was made of adobe and red bricks. It is finished with white bricks on the outside. Most likely the locals named it Ahmeshit because of the facade. The construction was demolished and then administrative buildings were built from its bricks. It is believed that in addition to the mosque, there may be about 200 more buildings on the territory. According to experts, this might be true. After all, the mosque is mentioned in the trilogy Archaeologists by Hamza Yesinjanov, and geographically everything is the same.
Тапсылайды үзілді кесілі мәлімдемегенмен, қолда бар мәліметтер соған меңзейтсе көрсетілген өзеннің орны.
The artifacts that were found suggest that this is the case. This is indicated by geographic data. Abu Bakir Kerdera was reportedly educated in this mosque.
Бізде бір қолда бар дерек бойынша облыста белгілі жалғыз орын деп айтуға болады. Әзірше ашаршылық құрбандары жерленген жер осы Ақмешіт орны. Бір шұңқырға көптеген адам жерленген.
According to experts, the area has not been fully explored and it still holds many secrets. Archaeologists can uncover them. Scientists suggest that in the future this place could be an open-air museum. Creative works of Kazakh and foreign artists in one exposition. An exhibition has opened in the National Museum of Kazakhstan with 2 key sculptures of a throne and a mask by artists from Mozambique, Gonçalo Mabunda. These works are unique, made of defunct weapons and their fragments, including machine guns, bullets, cartridges, infantry mines, and other trophies of the violent 16-year civil war in Mozambique. The exhibition also displays works by more than 25 Kazakh and foreign artists, including Aisha Galimbayeva, Amandos Akhanayev, Abdrashid Sadekhanov, and other masters of national art. The event coincided with the 30th anniversary of the closure of the Semipalatinsk Nuclear Test Site. A separate section of the exposition is devoted to this historical event.